This team is too good for any sort of defensive responsibility. They can just sit and watch as LeBron bails out this godforsaken squad with his talent. This year is supposed to be the big hurrah, the proving that their championship wasn't just a fluke. The Cavs were here to stay. As a result of LeBron's hubris, things may have gotten significantly worse over the past year. The Cavaliers have gone on hand and foot to please LeBron and shower him with everything he wants. Despite it, this may not be enough to prevent the inevitable. If LeBron leaves, the Cavaliers are absolutely fucked. Even with the first-round pick gifted by Billy King to the Celtics all those years ago, the nuclear fallout from this situation could last for years. I felt weird making the Cavs video. It was either that I was a month too late or 4 months too early. It was made in a limbo just after they gutted the entire team at the deadline. There was really any way they could go. Unfortunately for them, it turns out the video was the latter option. The Cavaliers are once again irrelevant. LeBron is gone. Again. It was one of those things many of us could see coming from a mile away. The hints were being dropped throughout the past year, yet there were a lot of Cavs fans that didn't want to believe it. They just wanted to sit back and enjoy the ride. I honestly don't blame them. The sad reality is that the revamped Cavs were just as awful as the drama-laden squad that sucked their way throughout January. The only difference here is that they now have thrown even more money at the problem. Jordan Clarkson was so awful that he didn't play several games in the playoffs as a coach's decision. Rodney Hood, same thing, although he did okay in the games he was allowed to dress for. George Hill spent more time being useless than anyone. Proof that being paid $20 million per year can't make you shoot a fucking free throw. J.R. Smith's main ambition involved the next bottle of Henny he was going to drink. Tristan Thompson chose to become entangled in the spiderweb of Kardashians. Kevin Love kept getting injured. And there was some other shit they found at the dollar store too. When you have to rely on Larry Nance Jr., there is a serious goddamn problem with your team. Cleveland may have made the finals, but it was literally LeBron James single-handedly carrying a bunch of overpaid scrubs to relevance. Let's be honest, this team should have lost to the Pacers or Celtics. It would have been a glorious laugh, and we wouldn't have been stuck with Warriors Cavs yet again. Although we did get to relish in the epic failure of the paper champion Raptors. The only benefit the Cavs had was that the Eastern Conference is a fucking joke and a half. It masked the ever-present problems of the organization, which leads us to an incredibly predictable ending. The inevitable heat death to the Warriors. Most of the finals wasn't even close to being competitive. It literally turned into LeBron against the world. Again. The fact that Kyrie was able to skip town and that the return blew up in their faces was laid full bare in these 4 games. True, the Cavs had a shot to win Game 1, but you can thank that band of idiots that LeBron handpicked for fucking it up. George Hill blew it, JR thought they had the lead, and the puppet didn't call a timeout they still had. The only winner of the NBA playoffs were the memes. LeBronto and JR were the gold standard that will live on in time. Unfortunately, Cleveland took a big L for the short and long-term future. LeBron may have been the reason they were relevant, but he was also holding the organization hostage with year-to-year uncertainty. It was a slow-motion car crash we could all see coming from a mile away. LeBron has nothing else to gain from staying in Cleveland. Why would he stick around? To deal with a piece of shit owner that threw him under the bus whenever he could? An owner that grew tired of losing money hand over fist year after year thanks to the luxury tax? As much as you want to bitch about LeBron, he fulfilled his end of the bargain. He brought a championship to Cleveland. He lived his childhood dream. It's best for all parties involved that he left. LeBron gets to expand his brand in ways that transcend the basketball realm. His passion is in movie making. He owns several houses in Los Angeles. His children are attending schools in LA, and athletes like him always desire a new challenge. What the future will hold for him is uncertain. Maybe he wins a championship in LA, or he fails to get past the Warriors and his tenure goes down as a failure. Even if it is, what LeBron is doing is the best for LeBron. But what does this leave for Cleveland? What they have now is a team built for LeBron, by LeBron, but with no LeBron. They have hundreds of millions of dollars in payroll locked up in albatross contracts that are near unmovable. They can't add to the roster without going over the cap and triggering the luxury tax. The Cavaliers are a combination of old overpaid players and young overpaid players. Who is their guy now? Oft-injured Kevin Love, Colin Sexton, Rodney Hood, fucking J.R. Smith? Even if they were to buy out a lot of these contracts, they would be stuck in a Brooklyn Nets type situation where they are stuck paying these guys for years into the future. I wish I had comforting thoughts, but the reality is grim. The Cavaliers are looking square in the face at an age of darkness and despair, a time where the team will be, at best, a fringe playoff contender. The fires of the Cuyahoga are burning deep into the Cleveland night, and there may be no ridiculous draft lottery luck to save them this time around. The golden age of Cavs basketball is over. The best player your team has had and will ever have is gone. Possibly for good this time. The land isn't just fucked, it is super duper fucked. At least you'll have the memories and that shiny trophy to cling on to as the city sinks into Lake Erie once again. Thank God that the Indians will distract you before they choke in the playoffs again this year. You seriously thought he was going to head to Philadelphia? God, you are fucking idiots. So Boogie has chosen to conveniently rehab with the goddamn Warriors and possibly win a championship ring on the cheap. Thanks for proving me right at every turn, NBA. This league is a joke.